The big question is, one of the big questions about Liverpool, there are several before this big game against Man United off the back of the international break, where Liverpool came in off the back of the Chelsea defeat away from home, played poorly, got outplayed, deserved what they got. Salah was poor. Steve and I went over it a week or so ago. We went over the midfield, we went over the space that were allowed, we went over multiple things. But Florian Wirtz was on the bench. Yeah. What's the decision that Arne Slot is going to make to get this season rolling? And we're talking about getting this season going again. They're second in the league. I think the big picture is they haven't played well. And is he going to pick? Is he playing Stevie?
Yep.
Florian Wirtz? You don't know.
I don't think Wirtz will play.
You don't think he'll play?
I thought the question was going to be Ekitike or Isak.
Oh yeah, we're getting
there, but we're just focusing on Wirtz.
I don't think no.
But
no.
Don't you think coming in playing your biggest rival? Well, certainly not in terms of the league, but in terms of historically, your biggest rival. You're at home. What a great opportunity for him to get his Liverpool career up and running.
Well, that sounds lovely. It sounds great. That'd be a great story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's been thinking. Arne Slot, I'm sure, along with the rest of us, have been thinking this is going to happen every week, and it's not happening.
Right.
But and so coming off 3 defeats, are you really going to go again? I don't think he will.
But at home, away from home, I kind of see that picture away from home.
It's a possibility.
At home,
if Konaté's fit, right?
He's playing number 10.
It's a possibility that Wirtz might play. If Konaté's not fit, then he's going to have to move Gravenberch back and maybe play Endo. So you can't play Endo and you can't play Wirtz. So if Konaté's fit, it's a possibility Wirtz plays. But if Konaté's not fit, I don't see any way that you put Wirtz in the middle of the park. Just don't see it.
Frank, what about for you, not in the Florian Wirtz chat, but of course the other 2 names that Stevie had mentioned right there, in Alexander Isak and your boy Hugo Ekitike, what does Arne Slot do there?
Well, you know what? I want to believe Steve, because last time he made a bet where he said that that Isak won't play the first game, and he didn't. So I think he knows better than us. And if he said that Wirtz might not play, he has the internal contact. So I want to trust him. But you know what? We want to see the best of all the best players, and it doesn't matter the price tag. It doesn't matter, if you just sign or not. Liverpool is concerned about every player, even the players who were there last season, and we're talking about Konaté, Van Dijk, and some others. Szoboszlai, McAllister. We don't recognize him. So yeah, we're focusing on some players, but the others haven't been good as well. So Liverpool is still second, and I mentioned that last time, that we say, well, yeah, they're not playing well, but it's still second. So it says a lot about the quality of the players and the fact that maybe they still have something, they still have a soul in the team. But yeah, I want to believe that it's possible that Arne Slot doesn't play Wirtz and give a chance to the more offensive team with Ekitike maybe on the left side with Isak and maybe Gakpo behind Isak and Salah on the right side. Everything is possible according to what we're going to see. Yeah, I agree with Craig. What's going on at the back as well, and where Gravenberch is going to play. But they're going to put a big pressure. I mean, that's a game we should show to the world that Liverpool is back to the race and to the best that as they have been last season.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see, if I was a Liverpool fan, if I was watching, having watched what I've watched at the start of the season, I'd like to see Ekitike start, and I'd like to see Alexander Isak being sort of filtered into this team to get his game time and his sharpness, which I don't think he's at yet. He's played for Sweden tonight in a game that you wouldn't want to watch, and we didn't. But Ekitike has been one of the players that has excited the Liverpool supporters. He's made a difference in games. His link-up play's been good. His running's been good. His goal scoring's been good. And I get it. Alexander Isak's your big signing. He's been the big story. You've chased him all summer. He basically, we could argue about it, but he went on strike, or he went back to train with Real Sociedad. He pushed the move through. So it's understandable when you spend that kind of money, you want to get somebody in the team, but not to the detriment of the team getting the points. And you can't argue that Ekitike at the start of the season,
is the man.
Since the Community Shield onwards, has, apart from his faux pas in the Carabao Cup where he took his shirt off for the second booking and he missed the Crystal Palace game, he's been excellent. So that's another big call.
But you know what it's like though, Craig? It's not always straightforward. It just doesn't always come down to form. Because if it's on form, then it's a no-brainer. Ekitike has to start.
So what
I don't think he'll start him.
What's the barrier?
Well, I think the barrier is it's your big signing. You try to get him up to speed. There's always the pecking order, and I think right now that is going to override what Ekitike has, which is wrong, but I think that's going to override what he's done on the field. Because on form, Ekitike does deserve to start.
Yeah, but hey, guys.
Stevie, that's awful. What you say, I hear you. Sorry, Mario, but I hear you, Stevie. It's true, but we are talking about politics. We're not talking about football. I mean, those people, if they do that, if Arne Slot decides to put Isak because it's a big price tag. I mean, that's a shame for football. I mean, I'm with Craig. I mean, Ekitike has to play.
I don't think he
but
will.
You know,
I don't disagree, by the way. Sorry, Mario. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I just don't think he will.
No, but
I know.
Mario?
Hey, think about last season. Last season, when this happened at the international break, Slot was in, and he started the game when they came back after the national team break. They lost that game, and the second one, he changed the momentum and he played him. So I think, you understand, looking at him, because I remember the first time it happened to him, it was like me saying, like, it's a new league for him. He just has to adapt. He has to get used to it, stuff like that. The second game, he didn't make that mistake. He played his strongest team. So now, whatever happens now, you understand, coming into this game, okay, I agree, you know, Isak, you know, they did everything to get this player to their team, so it's kind of weird if he wouldn't start. When it comes to Wirtz, he might make that decision because in the middle of the park is exactly where you can really overrun Man United. Because I think if it doesn't click well in the middle for Man United, that's where they can win the battle. So I think for Liverpool, they will pump that midfield full of energy. So either Wirtz is ready to attack that energy, and if not, they will play their stronger side and will really, try to hurt them as bad as they can.
They've got no legs in midfield. United, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Casemiro, Iguate, Bruno Fernandes is playing there. It's not his position. He doesn't understand the defensive aspects, the positional aspects of being a deeper line midfielder. And it also negates, which we've talked about at length, it negates his ability to influence the game, 30 yards further up the field. And you just think, just feel, particularly at home at Anfield against this United side who are weak in that area, that Florian Wirtz could really find the space to run the show. Now, whether that is the manager's thinking or not, I don't know, but I think there's a great opportunity here for Liverpool to go and put a marker down against all the sort of negativity of the last 3 games or so, where they've been sort of dragged from pillar to post, playing Szoboszlai at right back. And it'd be interesting thing if he does try to shoehorn Ekitike in and Isak and he plays him on the left. This would be something that's crept into this manager's way of thinking, with trying to get some new signings in. I'll move Szoboszlai to right back and I'll move him here because I want to play him. And thus far, that hasn't worked particularly well for him. So I think it's apples and oranges for me. He's putting the house on Isak starting and been sharp enough and putting Ekitike on the bench, or he's playing the informed striker and Hugo Ekitike, and he's sent to Alexander Isak. It's a long season. It's been a disrupted summer for you. This player's done particularly well, and we're going to try and get you up to speed this way. There's 2 different ways of looking at how to go about this.
Arne Slot's in a position where last year we knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
You knew what was happening. You knew who was playing where. You knew what the jobs were. You know who was starting where.
And maybe that's a bigger test of his management now.
Right now, listen to us talking. We don't know whether Wirtz is going to play. We don't know whether Ekitike is going to play. We don't know whether Isak is going to play. I mean, there's so many questions now, and we just don't know what he's going to put on the field at Anfield.
Well, Mario, as Stevie said, there have been a lot more questions than usual about Arne Slot's Liverpool, and there has been a question mark as well about Frimpong. What are your thoughts on him and his situation?
Yeah, I heard the story, you understand, for the defending when the coach comes out and he says, like, one of my players was thinking more about attacking than defending. I mean, that moment they concede a goal and you see him trying to challenge. He still made the challenge. He was in that position, but he wasn't good enough at that moment. It's tough. Why? Because I hope, you understand, like sometimes as a player, it can kill your confidence too. I hope not it's going to happen to Frimpong because clearly, he looks like a strong-minded player and he will handle that. But in a way, you got to understand because when your coach, instead of playing you, he plays somebody else in your position, that's when you start questioning it. So the only thing I hope now that is not going to happen to him because look, why he got him is because attacking-wise he's very good. Defensively, that is not his game. I know he has to play in that position, so he has to know how to defend. But when he plays for Holland, the most likely he's being used to doing the attacking job more than doing the defensive job. So if that has to change, of course, I think as a player he's got the speed. So that is not, it should not be a problem for him. I hope that he understands that and that he changes his game because you want to play, you don't want to sit on a bench.
Well, he had that, but he had that last year, didn't he? Slot. He had Alexander-Arnold. Who's, he's a better footballer than Frimpong.
But also more attacking-minded.
But the point being is he was also deficient in those defensive areas. So it's kind of the same problem. Maybe he's just not getting, or he's not getting. He'll get more of a winger wide play from Frimpong. What he won't get, obviously, and I don't think many would do it. He's not going to get that range of passing, Stephen, is it?
No. Yeah, but Craig, he had the compensation 2 years ago with some other players as well. But last year was with Konate. Konate was a much better player than this season. Well, the beginning of the season, and he was compensating. And a few years ago, you had Anderson compensating as well and covering Trent Alexander-Arnold. So everything was working. But today, nowadays, Frimpong hasn't got the support that he needs. Konate is not as good as he used to be, so maybe he's going to change. Slobodlai, if he plays on the right side, he's not covering him enough. McAllister is not the player he used to be. Gravenberg is doing great, but he cannot do everything. So they have to compensate. And again, we are judging Arne Slot on players not being good enough, even the players who are there for a while. So it's also the players that you have to judge on top of judging Arne Slot, because last year they were good. This season they're not good. Is it the Arne Slot error? I'm not sure about that. It's not 100% Arne Slot.
I think that a good example of that actually is, but he has to figure that out, Slot. And this is a big test of his period at Liverpool. He's got, last year it was Stevie said it kind of. Team almost picked itself, and maybe they did play too many games, the same players, and they ran out of steam a little bit in the second half of the season. Certainly domestically the job was done. In Europe they got found out. One player in particular, although there's several, you can look at Mo Salah and all that, but one player who I know he's had his injuries, but Alexis McAllister, you rarely ever seen him waste a pass. He was always available. He would do some great things, but he would do a lot of tidy stuff.
He's not fit though. Liverpool's got so many. Let's be honest. Liverpool's got so many problems. It's frightening, And in some ways, the whole Isak and Wirtz thing is taking a lot of pressure off the so-called core group of Liverpool players, who we relied on, who were at a certain level every single time they stepped on the field. So right through the team, we're talking about a group of players where none of them are even close to where they were last year. And yes, I agree. Arne Slot, at the end of the day, he's the coach. He's the guy that has to sort it out. He's the guy that has to get them going. He's the guy. But at the end of the day, the players have to be responsible for their own performances as well. So not only is Arne Slot struggling to figure out what way to go, but there's not a player in Liverpool's team right now that you can say is carrying the rest. I mean, they're not. Everybody, in some shape, way or form, is struggling.
This is huge for Liverpool. I know we need to move on. But this is huge.
Gravenberg.
This is huge for Liverpool in the sense that the points they've got are very good with the performances that they've put in thus far. And all these things we've talked about since the start of the season, the issues with the signings and fitting people in. But if they were to lose at home to this Man United, okay, they beat Sunderland last time out, but let's be honest about it. They're absolutely, they're absolutely rotten, right? If they were to lose at home to this Man United side, that's 4 straight defeats in all competitions.
Yeah.
And the questions just keep coming. The negativity, is Wirtz worth the money? Can he do that? Did the manager get lucky last year? I mean, all these things. It is I mean, it's a big game for United, don't get me wrong.
Unfeasible.
Massive game. Massive game for Liverpool.